All right, hey everyone, welcome to the second, well, I don't know what we call it, the first of the second set of these ladder diaries that we're going to be doing. This time it's Reynor, and it's actually not a ladder game, because that's fun. Instead, this is Reynor versus Cyril playing from the Passioncraft tournament. I don't know much about it, but it is Reynor playing, and that's kind of all that I care about at the end of the day, so I'm excited to see what we're going to get. And hey, we're right into it. So in the upper left, in the blue, you may know him. He's Reynor. And beguilingly in the bottom right, the champion of the Epic Land, and honestly, a player who's been looking really good over the last month or so. I mean, he has been showing up. Well, folks, it's ForJumy. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen here, because in my lead up to Katowice, I was sitting and I was talking to a bunch of people, and Reynor I talked to specifically, and he was telling me about how good his PvZ was. And we kind of saw that at Katowice, but to be honest, that was not the matchup that had me excited. I thought he was looking dominant in TVZ, but his PvZ or his EVP was, honestly, he almost lost the series to Showtime. It looked less, I'm not going to say less inspiring, but less unapproachable than what we saw out of his EVT, which again just looked incredible. So excited to see what's going to happen here. Reynor's struggles in this matchup have really been in the early game. We've seen a bunch of games now where he looks, unapproachable, insurmountable in the mid game, but only if he gets out of the early game without taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 workers worth of damage to adepts, to oracles, things like that. So it's going to be fun to see whether this is something where Jumy is going to maybe try to use that in some way, whether he's going to try to go for some more aggressive options. But you always got to be worried when we're talking about a game like this, because if you lean hard into the aggression, if you really try to enforce your will on ForJumy, or on Reynor as ForJumy, and it doesn't work out, I mean, Reynor is already really good at coming back, and if you put yourself behind, I mean, that does not seem like a good idea. So for now, it is, of course, going to be Warp Gate first into a robo behind that. So no Stargate play, and already that tells us that this may be a bit more of an aggressive ForJumy than we might otherwise expect. But where we go from here, interested to find out. Because again, this is a very quick robo. For most builds most Twilight into robo, well, it's Twilight into robo, as I was saying. So if you're going, you get glaives, that's Twilight into robo. A blink timing is Twilight into robo. So this very well could be some sort of just aggressive robo opener. We're going to have to see really how much gas he mines, how much gas he continues to mine moving forward. Because there are old builds, certainly, the Marjorie, for example, where you get like one Immortal out, you get a Warp Prism, and you just warp and slow Zealots. And that's how that works, right? It is just about the early robo. And then there are ones that are maybe a little bit more, maybe technical is not the right word. A little bit more tech heavy, a little bit more, intensive on the gas. But that's, what everything I'm talking about doesn't matter, because this is going to be disruptor drops coming out of Jumy in this game number. Actually, I don't know what number game is in this series. I just asked Reynor for a replay, and he said, hey, this is a good one. So I said, yeah, sure, thank you. But I believe this is going to be disruptor drops. There's a very slim possibility that this is going to be Colossus play. But that's generally something you see against Terran. There's not the preponderance of early game light units for Zergs that there are for Terran. So you just want the disruptors that you get 2 of them, you blow up Queens in with a second robo. Oh my, ForJumy, this is a build and a half. This is going to be fun. So we should see disruptors getting started soon enough here. There we go. More prism speed as well. So he's going to chron out disruptors out 2 at a time. Now, of course, he's going to start, right? Robo moves across the map. You pick up the adepts in the middle. 2 adepts are enough to one-shot a worker, enough to one-shot a link. So you just kind of fly in, get as much damage as possible. But you got to make sure that there is no damage on the hull of this War Prism. That is kind of the point here. So the adepts are going to shade in. Maybe they're going to get something picked up. And now into the main base, they're going to go. Well, actually, no, they're not. It drops them off for the natural. But ForJumy, he keeps the adepts alive, but doesn't really get anything. I mean, he got 1 drone. That's not really all that much. Meanwhile, of course, Reynor, layer on the way now. Spores getting added in. He doesn't really seem to know quite what's happening. He has the assumption that this is not going to be some sort of glaive play, right? We don't see a roach worn down. Or actually, I'm sorry, we do see a roach worn down. What am I saying? No roaches on the way, though. And that is, of course, because, well, I don't know. Actually, what has Reynor seen? The lack of a third. But nothing more than that. But really, he hasn't seen a preponderance of units. And also, if it's glaives, you expect to see them move across the map at 4:30 with more depth than Jumy has. So that's going to close down the ideas, close down the build space, really, that Jumy's can be acting in. But hey, Warp Prism Speed, 2 Disruptors on the high ground. Queens are shooting away, and they're going to get nothing. A little damage on one Queen that's going to be healed up very quickly. But behind this is all in. There has been no third base. Jumy has no designs on a third base whatsoever. He's going double Warp Prism, double Disruptor drops. I love this so much. This is somewhat reminiscent of what we saw Estrella do, actually against Reynor in Katowice. Obviously a slightly different approach. I believe Estrella's build had Blink, but quad Disruptor on the map is super interesting, especially as this Queen count starts to go down just a little bit. We're at 7 right now. The Queens now, they're going to move off creep, and Warp Prism just runs away. Meanwhile, Warp Prism on the left side is going to get found up, and into the natural it's going to go. And honestly, these roaches are free picking if Reynor's not paying attention, but no. Warp Prism just goes in the main base. Link shadowing it for now, and the Disruptors are going to drop off. Shots go off, assassinate a Queen, and really minimal damage to the Disruptor. So, okay, Jumy. He's going to get another Queen. There we go. Oh, he's going to get 2. Very, very, very nice, and no damage on the Warp Prism. So, we're looking at 4 dead Queens right now. And now there's the Colossus out, a couple more Disruptor, or a couple more Immortals on the way. This is a insanely oh, he's gonna get so many drones too. 4 workers and a Queen, and the Warp Prism stays alive even still. Yeah, that's a wounded Warp Prism, and you probably don't want to show that up on the front lines anymore. It can't take nearly as much damage, but 5 dead Queens, 5 more dead workers here, and a couple more Queens are gonna be assassinated in the corner. There we go. Jumy is getting so much damage here. I mean, he is down 12 workers, but folks, make no mistake about it. This is all in. Coming from the young German. I don't know when it's exactly going to hit. I would have expected it to hit by now. But he's got 3 Immortals, a Colossus, 4 Disruptors. He's adding on that 4th Immortal right now. You got to figure he's going to hit at some point. I mean, eventually, regardless of the damage that Jumy is doing, you got to figure that this will eventually time out as the Queens are going to be able to run away. Minimal damage there. Not a single Queen dies. But now we're just looking at the timing. When does ForJumy want to move out? What is he waiting for? He's going to be at 4 and 4, Disruptors and Immortals very soon. Okay, there we go. Now he's active on the map. Couple lanes, couple roaches are going to go down. Has to cancel the second Nova. But now the question is whether this 40 army supply lead that Reynor has is actually going to be enough to take down this army that ForJumy has built for himself. Because make no mistake about it, while the supply is lacking, 130 to 80, that is an intensely technical army. We're looking at 5 Disruptors, 4 Immortals as the 4th Immortal joins a Colossus, and Sentries as well, just to make sure the army attacks piecemeal. So that's the question. Can Reynor find a fight where he has that full surround? Will ForJumy be able to slice him up with a Surgeon's Knife? But for now, Reynor is maxed out here. Armies on the left and the right, center as well. Looking for that surround. Rocks have to go down. Jumy's going to knock that down, and he's actually going to be very happy with this fight right now. Because what is that? 30 army supply of the Roaches and the Ravagers. They're stuck on the right side. They can't find their way through. So now this is a bit of an opportunity for Jumy here as the Disruptor shot's going to go off on the left side. Right side, though, is where you're going to find it in the middle as well. But even still with that, is it going to be enough here? The shots are fantastic, and a lot of supply has found its way down. And in fact, army supply, 30 in the good now as opposed to 50, as opposed to 60, where it once was. And when we look at it, Disruptor count's down a little bit, down by 2, but the army here is still powerful. The question, though, is how do you get on creep? Yeah, Roaches, Ravagers, they run away. It's hard for them to run away off creep, but when they're on, well, Disruptors are not nearly as powerful. So now we have Jumy tangling forward, sending out shots one by one, hoping for the big one that allows him to find his way into the natural. But for now, he's not finding it. And another Stalker will fall here as Jumy, again, just playing on the edge of things. Doesn't really want to commit too hard. Disruptor shot on a couple Disruptors, couple Ravagers. That's going to be really nice. But again, the Disruptor counts what matters. Here's the Lings move forward once again. And the Disruptor count continues to fall just a little. Well, actually, as I say that, tons of Roaches on the counterattack here. And the recall's not great. I don't know how much... Okay, it's only one more Disruptor went down, so the tech is still there. Benefits of double disruptors. You can just kind of keep everything alive. What's in this War Prism? Disruptor and an Immortal. Not super impressive by themselves, but that recall killed off a lot of these roaches, but it did buy Reynor time. And he's again approaching that max out once again. He's got another big run by getting ready. And this time, folks, there is no recall. There's nothing that gets Jumy right back home. He's booked a one-way ticket here. And the question now whether he's going to be able to, well, he's going to be able to convert it, because for now, couple stalkers, couple sentries are going to get found out here. Disruptor down through the middle. It's going to get taken out with a really minimal gain, but Reynor's off creep. This is the fight that Jumy's looking for if he can make it happen properly. Disruptors are not getting the shots that they need, and now Reynor's got the full surround. Last shot, though, is actually not going to get anything, and Jumy's now just started to collapse here. All the Disruptors are dead. Immortals are nice, sure, but he's running, he's hiding away, and even as the supplies, they start to equalize, the problem here is that the tech has been reset. One Disruptor on the field. 5 Immortals, though. Maybe I'm not giving them the credit that they deserve. But again, it is only that one Immortal play, or only one Disruptors. A couple more get added in. And remember, Jumy's all in here. He does not have a third base. He's on 38 workers after he lost 7. His income is really starting to hurt. And again, Reynor sets up the surround. Looks to move in, and there are not, what are there, like 4 fields in this army. Disruptor shot on the right side. It's not going to get all that much, and this surround from Reynor finds its way in once again. Jumy microing with 2 War Prisms to try to make sure, well, actually, wait, that's only 1 War Prism. Where's the second one? Did it go down? Oh, okay, it's on the left side. Just providing a little bit of vision. Jumy only had 1 War Prism to work with. Which, you know, he microed well with it, but he only had 1 of them. And again, the longer this goes, the better it is going to be for the Italian Stallion. And certainly that War Prism, I mean, it can't really survive there too long. So now Jumy on the right side trying to find a nice a salient point to attack through. And his Disruptor shot has started to move up just a little bit. But for now, Reynor's going to give up the position to make sure he can kill the army. And actually, Jumy's not even going to really commit to it. So here comes the Lings on the right side. And again, massive surround. Disruptor shot's going to go a little bit better this time. But Reynor here, he comes with the surround. Once again, Biles are not going to land. And the army continues to kite backwards. And we're going to see the Colossus fall. No, it's going to stay alive. Disruptor shots aren't going to get anything, though. And the Immortals, they're going to have to see whether their name is true, because they're just falling. Their name, it's not working out whatsoever. Disruptor shot to try to save the day. It's not going to matter. And Reynor, he's going to hold on here in this game. It was a fancy build from Jumy in the extreme, but unfortunately, it doesn't really work out all that well at the end. Some shots, they're going to try to make something happen, but 32 army supply to 120. 38 workers to 50, and it's going to be a damn difficult task for Jumy to be able to escape from this position right now. Try to knock the rocks down, but even that's it. Reynor's going to get past that one. The army runs away. There is no blink on these stalkers. There are no upgrades on these stalkers, and again, awesome build from ForJumy. That probably kills a lot of Protoss players. It kills a lot of Zergs too, but it's not going to kill Reynor. And Reynor, judicious as always, he's going to back up. He doesn't need to end the game right now. He can go rebuild. He can get more workers, get himself up north of 60, get a 5th base if that's what he wants. Because the onus is on Jumy. Jumy has to make something happen. That or, you know, tap out of the game. So we're going to see one last push out probably coming in from Jumy on the right side. He's got 2 Disruptors. And, you know, hey, when you got Disruptors, the game is never truly over. But there's the first shot going out, finding no value. And Reynor's just backing up again. Just wants to find himself on creep. Second shot gets the roach. Doesn't really matter. Jumy taps out. And again, that was a cool build coming out of ForJumy, but Reynor holds on just enough. And folks, if you like these, again, remember, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Reynor, Cyril, Reynor, and maybe Trigger, maybe someone else. We'll figure that out. But Ladder Diaries, as long as I can pull this off, like and subscribe, and catch me on Mondays, EPT North America, Saturdays, EPT Korea, and Thursday evenings for KSL. Till next time.